Okay, welcome everyone to a brand new series actually. In this series, I want to talk about very important mechanics in the Catan game series. And one of them is the dice roll. So you might think, the dice roll, that's something random, right? You can't control it. Well, of course, you can't control the outcomes of the dice roll. You could play around it to a certain extent. So what do I mean by that? So you have numbers in Catan that are rolled more often than other numbers. And in fact, I, well, have a probability distribution here with, well, the numbers 2 up to 7. And, well, the other numbers have the same probabilities, so didn't want to show them to you. But let's have a look at the 2. So the 2, how can you roll 2? With two ones, of course. So the probability of that happening is not that high. In fact, it's 1 over 36. But if you take, for example, a 6, then the probability is a lot higher. It's a 5 in 36 roll. So that means on average, approximately 1 in the 6 rolls is expected to be a 6. And so it is for the 8. The 8 has the same probability as the 6, and the 12 has the same probability as the 2. So how can we make use of that? Well, let's have a look at the example over here. So in this particular case, I placed on the 693 with the 6 OR. So this is one of my recent videos. If you want to check that out, you can find it on YouTube as well. So let's say you placed on the 6 OR. Well, on average, 1 in the 6 rolls is expected to be a 6. So in around 18 rolls, you could expect to have 3 OR. Of course, with the exception of not able to trade or not able to port away your resources or even getting a city. So these are other mechanics that are also very important and I want to discuss in a further video if you guys are interested in it. And well, if you are interested in other topics, let me know in the comments as well, because I want to make a video about that if there is a demand for it. So let's get back to the example. So here we have the 693. And well, you need at least 3 ore in able to have large army. So if you're an ore with sheep player, the ore is very important for you. And so is the wheat and the sheep. So that's why I also took this particular example. And of course, you need also 3 ore for getting a city. And well, of course, ore is also very important as a trading resource. People are often, especially late game, looking for ore. So it's very good to know how many ore you could expect. And also how many sheep and wheat you can expect. So I want to talk about it right now. So then you come by the production. Production is a very important part as well. I think production can definitely win games. If you don't have the production, you will not win games, more stronger speaking. So if you placed on the 693, how many resources will you get expected on average if the game ends in 90 turns? Again, not with having any cities or trading capabilities. So then you will end up with, on average, at least 15 ore, 10 sheep, and 7 wheat. So in this case, I think the ore is pretty good. You can do a lot with 15 ore in your hand. Um, of course, over a period of time, or rolls in this case. But you already see the wheat you have is a little bit lacking. So I think 7 wheat is a little bit too low to play the ore with sheep game. You want at least, I think, like 10 or 12 wheat in the game. But, well, if you notice this, and this is something you can calculate beforehand or even during the game, you have to come up with a solution. Okay, how do I compensate for the lack of wheat? Can we get some good trading possibilities, good port possibilities? And are there other players as well that also go for the ori cheap strategy and can outpace me in terms of production of the 3 resources I'm discussing here? And if they can do that, how can you win from them? So maybe by a good port, for example. So you have to come up with a solution during games. And this is just one element of it. I can do the same as a road builder. or as another type of strategy, balanced or cheap. I can go into more detail about that as well. So, well, hope you learned something, and let me know in the comments if you find this video useful. So, hope you enjoyed and see you next time. Bye bye.